Anyway, there's a lot of people here that are real leaders on this issue, and I've been able to bring this to the attention of a lot of people up in Washington, D.C. because of you. Yes. You know. There's a lot of issues that we all care about, of course, in Washington, D.C., with tax reform and immigration, and Social Security, and Medicare, all these important issues. And believe me, I'm fighting for all those up there. However, one thing I found in this environment we're in, this ultra-partisan environment in Washington, D.C., is that if we can focus on a couple local issues, we can actually get something done. And it's because of all you. We had almost 200 people fly up to Washington, D.C., charter a bus, come up there on their own dime. They did car washes. You know, they did everything they could to raise money. And I'm not going to start naming names because I'll get in trouble. I'll forget somebody. But everybody here, you know, had a part in that. You all came out of your way. You came to D.C. It was the middle of a government shutdown. I was a little bit worried that the turnout wouldn't be good, or that, you know, it might not work out as well as I'd expected. Ended up having almost 25 members of Congress. A senator was there, Senator Bill Nelson. Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, some of the more powerful people in our United States government were there to listen to you all and to see you. And after that meeting, they pulled me aside and they said, Patrick, you know, we get lobbied on so many issues. People come to us on issues all around the world. But it's a lobbyist or some, you know, fancy suit type person trying to, you know, lobby for an issue. They said what meant so much was the people that came up there. The people that took the time, that chartered the bus, that, you know, came up with their shirts and with the posters and everything else. That's what made a difference because it resonated in their heart. So it's because of you all that we've had some success. Now, since that meeting, we've actually had some pretty good victories, believe it or not. Despite all the nonsense you hear in D.C., we've had a couple wins. Number one, we got a letter to the president urging him to either come down himself or send somebody high up to come down from the administration to see what we're dealing with.
Thank you for that.
No, that's you all. Number two, we got a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers to reevaluate LORS, the Lake Okeechobee release schedule. The Army Corps has put almost $750 million into fixing, into repairing the Herbert Hoover Dike. Because of that, I think, and I think a lot of people here probably believe, that the lake can hold some more water. Let's let the Corps reevaluate that, spend some money on engineering, and see how much more water that lake can hold. We've also been able to meet with a lot of the agencies, the USDA, Department of Interior, Fish and Wildlife, NOAA, etc., that all have a piece in solving this problem. Now, of course, the big solution is getting the water south. We all know that. We got to get the water south. But there are some short-term and some other smaller pieces of the pie that we have to look at as well. And that's what we're trying to do with some of the agencies, with NOAA, with USDA, trying to get some money down here for water farming. We're trying to get some folks to look at moving from septic tank to sewer. We're trying to look at some new technologies here that have been developed right in our area, some oxidization, some filters, some new companies that have a lot of great ideas. None of these are going to solve it all, but every little bit helps. You know, every gallon that we prevent or that we can clean, you know, coming into the waterway makes a really big difference. So we're working on those little things. But one of the biggest things, one of the biggest wins we had, and this came right after Steny Hoyer came down and we did a helicopter tour of all the projects in the lagoon. But one of the biggest wins we had happened just 2 weeks ago, and that was the passage of WRDA, the Water Resource Development Act. I won't get too wonky with everybody here, but just a couple of highlights of what happened there. Number one, it authorized about just under $1 billion of new projects for the Everglades. That's a huge win for us. WRDA hasn't been passed in 7 years. It's supposed to be a 2-year bill. It's been 7 years. So we finally got that passed, almost $1 billion of projects, 4 key projects. While it's unfortunate none of those were in our particular, you know, area right here in this area, the truth is and the fact is that all the Everglades are connected. So one of the projects and then that was authorized was C-43. That's the Caloosahatchee. The more water we can get going out that side, the better it is for us. 3 of the projects were south of us. The spreader canals and some of the water filtration zones that are major funding operation, major projects. This authorized them. So you're talking about $1 billion there. Number 2, what WRDA did is give $400 million of credits to South Florida Water Management District for projects that they've already done. That's another big win. Number three, what it did, and this is the part that is a little bit more complicated to describe, but basically every new project in Washington, D.C., you have to get authorization from Congress. That can be very cumbersome. Obviously, D.C. isn't working very well right now. So with the help of several members of Congress, Lois Frankel was particularly important on this. She's a member of Congress south of us on the T&I committee. She got an amendment in the Word of bill to say that South Florida Water Management District or any other group can move forward with the project. Once the Army Corps finishes their chief support, the federal government will automatically match the funding for that. So if they want to move forward with C-44 and put $100 million into it, the federal government's there to back and to match it. So next on the agenda is getting the Army Corps to finish up these chief supports immediately. And that was something that particularly frustrated me about the government shutdown, is because all agencies came to a stop. So that set back SEP, the chief support, that set back SEP just about 3 weeks. So what I've been doing is trying to reach out to the administration, to the White House, to urge them to get that chief support done before Christmas. Get it done. It's been years and years. Let's get that done. Number two, we have to get funding for these projects. They were authorized, now they have to get funded. So we're going to continue beating the drum, and I'm not going to let my foot off the gas. I know you guys certainly aren't. And if we need to, we're going to have another fly-in. But what we're trying to do now is get all the different agencies to come down to the area and to see this. USDA, I want them to come down and see what water farming really is, what it does. And for $5 or $10 million, how much water we can actually hold on some of these farms. I want some of the NOAA and Fish and Wildlife people to become more involved and more active and see what's happening to our estuary. You know, if they see it firsthand, I think it would touch their heart, make a big difference. So the White House said they're going to work very closely with us to get them down here. So we have a lot on our plate in D.C., but my office and working with the local government, with the state government, with Commissioner Zadowski, working with Martin County, working with all the commissioners, really, truly, party does not matter when it comes to this. This is something that we put partisanship aside. And if we can all work together and get everybody at the table, you know, I know there's a lot of groups that get blamed. There's a lot of, you know, different federal agencies or state agencies, and we all want, you know, to blame somebody. I've tried to take the approach, let's get everyone at the table. We can all point fingers. Let's just get everyone at the table and work on this together. You know, unity. You know, the way I look at it, we are where we are. If we work together, we can solve this. If we keep beating from the same drum, if we don't take our foot off the gas, if we pick a couple key projects that now got authorized, let's get them funded, let's get them done. The problem is it's not going to happen overnight, but if we take that 5-year horizon, that 10-year horizon, we can get this behind us. You know, we can get C-44 done. Then we can start moving this water south as well. You know, I'm working very closely with the governor and with State Senator Negron, with everybody at the state level, to try to get that purchase of land back. You know, we got to finish that land purchase so we can get that water moving south.
Buy that land.
Buy the land, get it done, move it south the way Mother Nature intended. So I'm going to keep you all posted. You've all been really the reason that I believe this has happened. WRDA passed. There were only 3 no votes on it. That never happens in D.C. So whatever you all did, you did magic up there. Let's keep the momentum. Let's keep the enthusiasm. I'm going to keep it up in D.C. All the other nonsense, you know, I can't necessarily control. This is something we can keep, you know, monitoring. This is something we can keep our foot on the gas. And with you all, I think we're going to get something done sooner than later. So anyway, thank you all very much. Good to see you all.
All right, everybody, you know, Congressman Patrick Murphy has a very busy schedule and he has to get going. But I did want to say one thing. If you've been paying attention the last few months, the last few decades, actually, we kind of have a new word that explains all of us. Every single one of you here is included. Riverlutionary, Lagunatics, River Warriors. I'd just like to have Mr. Patrick Murphy come over, and we'd like to officially nominate him as a river warrior for everything that he's been doing for us. These black armband symbolize the effort that we've all been putting forth and fighting for the place that we call home. Thank you so much, Mr. Murphy. Thank you. Officially a river warrior. All right, you guys, give him a big round of applause again. He came a long way. We really appreciate that. All right, he's got to get going. But the next person I have on my list here to speak to you, if you've been following the river issues, you're very familiar with Mr. Mark Perry.